Hey y'all, and welcome back to the No Cape No Star World tournament. For Super Mario World, we've got a great race for y'all today. This will be Icenine versus Xander. Xander you might recognize from the previous race he was commentating for. My name's Wade Carrick. You might recognize me from the grocery store. We're going to get these guys started any second now, so get some good lucks out in chat for these runners. This is our second of 3 races tonight. We'll have another one coming up right after this as well. Alright, and they are off. Now, the rules for this are pretty simple, as the title kind of tells you. They're not going to be able to use Star World to reach Bowser. They're going to have to take a longer path through the overworld. No cape also means, they're not going to be able to use the cape at all. If they do grab a cape, they have to take a death. It's not a disqualification or anything hardcore like that. You just have to take a death, restart the level. It's very rare to grab a cape. There's only very few instances where you would even come close to being near a cape. But it's worth stating that rule regardless. Going through Yoshi's Island 3, they're going to be relying on the brown moving platforms to reach the end. That way they can get a 259 on the in-game timer. Now coming into Yoshi's Island 4, looks like neither of our runners are even going to attempt the shell jump. Little difference I'll note is that Xander actually stomped the shell as opposed to Icenine, who just jumped over it. That can save you just a handful of lag frames. We're going through Iggy's castle. They're going to have to manage these cages pretty tightly. Make sure to get through there pretty fast. They want to hit this door with a 281. Xander will. Icenine, however, will be getting a 279. You'll notice Xander skipped the midway point while Icenine grabbed the midway point. That's going to show a difference in the boss kills we have coming up, where Icenine's going to take Flower and Xander's going to stay small. There's no real difference at the end of the day. Like, it's going to be able to help Xander because he's small. It's going to help him a little down the road being able to squeeze into tight spots. The Icenine's going to be able to get a slightly quicker kill on Iggy. It's kind of a wash all in all. You get a 240 from Xander, which is good. Small only, and a 239 Flower from Icenine. He did lose 2 in-game seconds from Room 1, missing that door. And doors can be a little tricky. They're actually, whenever you're moving at full P speed, it's only 3 frames to get into a door. So oddly harder than you would think. This is the first level where some major platforming is going to come into play. You'll notice just how much tighter Xander's going to be able to do some of these jumps here. Especially watch how he grabs this Yoshi, squeezing that jump in on the Super Koopa while Icenine relying on some fire. They're going to jump off this Yoshi to get up to the secret exit and make their way onto Donut Secret 1. Xander's looking good once again, using his small stature to kind of squeeze through spots. Icenine also squeezing through them, but very difficult to do while big. You're going to notice they go under the level where it's a little safer before popping back out. Now this ghost house is pretty interesting because you got to go through a lot of rooms to actually reach the exit normally, but if Xander just jumps and bounces off this ghost a couple times, he's going to reach that secret door. Now we move on to DP3, which so far has shown the most deaths from runners during this tournament. Hopefully it works out for both of these runners. I know during the last race, which we just finished up, both runners actually died to DP3, and that's a pretty common occurrence. You'll see Icenine taking the safer cloud to get up where he needs to go, while Xander kind of squeezed under that on-off switch he needed to get by. Xander's looking really good right now. And he's going to go ahead and finish. Yep, he finished out. Icenine unfortunately did take a death in DP3 though. Now Xander's moved on to DP4 where he's going to pick up his old buddy Yoshi. So he grabs himself a flower there that's going to help him in Morton's castle, kill Morton just a little bit faster. Morton's castle's pretty straightforward. They just need to run their way up to the top. Icenine will be joining them in that castle here shortly. Alright, Xander's gonna throw that spring in the wall for safekeeping. He's just storing it for later on in the winter. Can't say I've ever seen that before. So Xander has gotten out of Morton's castle. Icenine doesn't have a spring, so he's going to be moving on. He's kind of more of the grasshopper in this grasshopper and ant scenario. He's not going to have that spring for later in the winter. Xander's going to have to share his. Now moving through Vanilla Dome 1, you're going to see Xander pop up, grab this shell. There you go. Hit that block and grab the shell. And then he's going to use that shell to fly on up to the secret exit. And that's going to help unlock Vanilla Secret 1. Alright, and if you blink, you missed it, because Xander had a really good Vanilla Secret 1 right there. Getting past those Koopas, getting rid of that Yosh. Icenine's currently small. Hopefully get that shell. Didn't want to grab that free mushroom that kind of popped up. Doesn't really matter either way, but I do worry about the Koopas. They're going to be coming up in the next level, so keep your eyes peeled. Xander's got his backup whip now. Icenine needs to get up and go. Don't lose that Yoshi. And both of them are having interesting times with their Yoshis right now. Both of them small on the Yoshi. Icenine, cross your fingers, y'all. He needs to get past this choke point. Ooh, my goodness. I almost had a heart attack. Jesus. Alright, he got through. He's going to keep moving on without taking a death. Xander's making his way through Vanilla Secret 2 still. About to finish up here and move on to 3 and go check out some dolphins. Alright, you'll see Xander's Yoshi took a little nibble out that dolphin. As I say, Yoshis can have a little dolphin. Little dolphin. Not too much, Xander. Two's a bit much. Just a little dolphin. Xander's now finished up Vanilla Secret 3. He's going to be moving on to the Fortress. Icenine getting out of Vanilla Secret 1 with the 258 right now. He'll be heading on to check out the dolphins. Unfortunately, there's no way for Xander to really go faster in this level. You're kind of slow swimming the whole way. But now he makes his way into the Reznor fight. These can be pretty sketchy sometimes, so I've got my eye on Xander for sure right now. Beautiful dodge from that fireball, Xander. Very nice. Icenine moving through the fortress right now, while Xander moves on to everyone's favorite level, Butter Bridge 1. Xander swagging out super hard, almost losing that Yoshi. Now, if you're new to watching this game, when you look at Butterbridge 1, I already know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. This Butterbridge 1 does look exactly like and is based off of the classic 18th century novel by author Luis Gonzalez that was entitled El Puente de la Mantequilla, which of course means the Bridge of Butter. It's a classic fable, and Disney recently bought the rights to it. We should see a Butter Bridge ride at Disney World here in the next couple years, so that's very exciting. They will be putting out a movie that's co-produced by 20th Century Fox. I believe it'll be starring The Rock and Kevin Hart, so be sure to look out for that. Wow, beautiful one-up grab from Xander. Couldn't have been better. Absolutely stunning how he pressed down once he hit the pipe. Now going through Butterbridge 2, he's just gonna jump up and grab this blue shell. Wow. Or he's gonna grab that blue shell's baby brother blue shell and use that to fly through the level. I have not seen anyone grab that shell in that way. That was really cool. Swag points to Xander. We'll make sure to record those later. Xander having a very interesting beginning to Ludwig's castle right now, but he's looking good jumping over those ball and chains. Going through room 2 right now, going under those potaboos. Alright, now Xander has to rely on something called a cycle skip here. He does not have fire, which would allow him to do just 2 fireballs in one jump. He's going to have to hit Ludwig while he's in the air, just like that, and that will cause him to skip an entire shell cycle, getting out of there a little faster than if he were to rely on 3 naturalized jumps. So, good cycle skip from Xander. Icenine, unfortunately taking a death, it would seem, going back into the castle. He's gonna go ahead and cop another death. Try again. Like a cat, Mario had 9 lives going into this castle, and also, much like a cat, Mario has paws under those gloves. No one ever talks about that, but that's true. Don't look it up. He's got ears under the hat. Like cat ears, not like normal people ears that you typically see. I don't know what I'm talking about. Xander's going through Forest of Illusion 1 right now with his Yoshi. He's going to keep moving along. Notice he jumps every time he eats those wigglers. It's because their hitboxes are awful, and the only way to really deal with them is to jump as you eat. Beautiful job getting rid of that hammer bro, and he's made his way out. Good cycle skip from Icenine. He's going to be going ahead and moving on to the Forest of Illusion to meet up with Xander, who's currently on his way to the Yoshi clip, which has been a very scary point of the run for Xander at times. So watch as Xander dismounts Yoshi up here and then remounts right near the corner. And just like last time, he clean clips Yoshi straight through the wall and now has to go through the level completely normally. Bet he didn't think that was gonna happen again. Some people like to try to go for that secondary clip so fast that if you clean clip, you just kind of screw yourself over. It's like, bro, you just gotta chill. Just chill for a second. He's gonna go ahead and keep moving on. It's definitely a slow level. But he's out of there, and he's going to be moving on to Forest of Illusion 3, while Icenine's moving into Forest of Illusion 2. He's actually been holding his own pretty decently, not counting those Ludwig deaths, of course. Xander, nice wall jump there. It's going to help him keep his P-speed going through here, and it looks just really nice. There you go, grabs the key and he's out. He's going to be moving on to Roy's castle. Roy's castle's super exciting at the beginning, let me tell you. Just gotta sit there and ride that block snake. But now watch as he goes and takes a cool damage boost there. Gets through that spiked section during his iframes. Now he just needs to get through this last segment and he'll be at the Roy fight. Once again, not having fire means he has to rely on 3 jumps as opposed to 2 fireballs and a jump. That should be no matter. Icenine going back for a mushroom. I believe we've seen this before from him, where he wasn't able to rely on something called a Goomba clip to get out of the level. Alright, we see Xander going through Chocolate Island 1. This is a really neat level as far as platforming goes. There's definitely some tight jumps and spaces to squeeze in. He's out of there. Icenine making his way through Roy. He's just got one section left to go, and he'll be into the fight himself. Xander's got another pretty tricky platforming level coming up here, the Ghost House. Watch how tight he has to cut a lot of these jumps. With the fishing boat above him, all these Eries around him, there's a couple of spots where it gets really, really crazy. Alright, he's able to get that door going into the second room. Beautiful ghost house. I'm going through Chocolate Island too. There's nothing really here except to just keep running till the end. Room 3 can have a couple cool jumps depending on how he takes these chucks here. But otherwise, it's rather straightforward. Did I say straightforward? Alright, it was a little sketchy there, but Xander was able to get out. He's going to move on to Chocolate Secret, deal with some more chucks there. Taking a death on that Buzzy Beetle there. Not the biggest deal in the world. He does have a pretty healthy lead right now, but he doesn't want things. You don't want things like that to continue at this point. Icenine doing a good job getting up there using the damage boost. Xander's making his way through room 2. Alright, he's looking good. Just needs to make sure his jumps don't get eaten on these angled platforms. He's going to make his way to the exit. Icenine took a death in Chocolate Island too. Guess it's not as straightforward as I was leading y'all to believe, huh? In fact, thinking about it, Icenine, you just passed a spring. You should probably go back and put that in the wall somewhere, save it for later. You don't want to be the only one without one. Xander's going through arguably the hardest castle in this run. He decides not to go for the Crusher skip. He's just going to move on normally. I'm going through room 2. This can be pretty sketchy. It doesn't seem like Xander has any issues with it. Kinda corner clipping that last block, but he was able to get to the windy fight. I don't know if we've seen a windy clip this tournament or not. Very rare swag to pull off. But now out of World 6, he's going to be moving on to the sunken ghost ship. Icenine, I believe it looks, yep, getting out of Chocolate Secret. He's going to be heading on to the Windy Castle. Now, what Xander's hoping for here is to despawn one of the boo rings at the end of the room here. It's going to help him get through just a tad bit easier. Wasn't able to get it, so I think he's going to wait out this first boo ring. Let's see if he just decides to swim up through a gap. Yeah, he's going to take damage, but will he decide to swim through the second? Yep, he risked it for the biscuit. Unfortunately, he did take a death. And now we have to sit through, this level's like 18 minutes long or something, right? So we have to sit through this whole level again. Everyone say thank you, Xander. As Icenine takes a death in Wendy's castle. Icenine taking another death. No matter though, he's got a bunch of lives like he made a stop at Costco or something. So he can die all willy-nilly and he'll be fine. Xander finally making his way to the final pipe there. Alright, and Xander grabs his orb. GG's grabbing the first orb. Oof, he lost a 1v1 against a mole. He's gonna try that again. Lost a 1v1 to that mole's bigger brother. Man, if you can keep dying to every mole, we got a lot of moles to get through. He's looking good now. Using that. Oh my god, why did I say that? He didn't even know that big old cousin was sitting down there waiting for him. Alright, there you go. Making the best out of a bad situation by grabbing that block caddy corner to the truck and getting out of there. And after 3 deaths, Xander gets out of Valley of Bowser 1. Those moles can't hurt you anymore. Xander just taking it easy on this level. He doesn't even want to mess with it. So, from what we've seen today, I don't know if we're going to see a sandbar. I would like to. I'm so terrified you have a shell with you. Okay, leave the shell. Thank you. Hard to say whether or not he went for the sandbar. I would imagine maybe he did. Just because I feel if you did just a standard slide out, you would have way more room than he had. Icenine's and Bob 1 coming up behind him pretty quick. You know, even though Icenine hasn't taken any lead or whatever, like he's held his own. He's stayed right behind Xander the whole time. Not that Xander's making it too difficult on him this time, but that's how No Cape No Star World goes sometimes. So Xander's just gonna go up and around, grab this key, and move on to the fortress. Oof. Icenine taking the death, and Vob 2. As Xander's going through the fortress, this is a really sketchy level, so hopefully Xander's able to pull it off well. Watch how he goes back and forth, and that's to kind of keep P-speed. He unfortunately didn't really go when he should have, so kind of messed that a little bit. Man, almost took a death there too. I wasn't sure if that jump was going to be long enough. He's really scaring me with this run. But now we're in the Reznor fight. These are really sketchy when you're small, because those platforms can just throw you around. He was able to manage getting through it. Icenine's kind of stuck in the sandbar portion of Vob 2 right now. He just needs to make his way through Dark Room that has a very eerie red tint to it. And he has now entered the Bowser fight. This race will be closing up soon. So moving on to phase 2, you'll see Xander has himself a leftover Mecha Koopa right now, and that's going to help him pull off a little trick called ball skip here. He's just going to leave that out, and once it wakes up, Bowser should be stopping any moment to drop his first of 2 bowling balls. So Bowser's going to pull him over to the right side and hit him right there, and that's going to make Bowser not drop the second, and just go right back to dropping Mecha Koopas. So we got that nice 4th hit in there. We'll be moving on to the 3rd and final phase, while Icenine will be heading into the Bowser fight himself shortly. So throwing up through the clown car will make Bowser bounce 5 times as opposed to 8. Set him up for a beautiful 6th and final hit. So y'all get your GGs out for Xander. He's going to go ahead and take away this race with a 39-12. GGs. Very nice job from Xander. It looks like Icenine should be finishing up any moment now. Both of them having some interesting runs, interesting deaths. So go ahead and get Xander in here so we can talk to him about his race. Hey, Xander, GG.
Howdy. Thank you.
That was an interesting run at times, huh?
Yeah. To be honest, I was fairly happy with that until Valley of Bowser of all places.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. There's not much you could have done about the clean clip, and especially that happening
Oh,
2
God.
races in a row, like, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, right after that race where it happened with Dots told me, we were in a voice call afterwards, and he was like, hey, you should just wait for a bit longer before dismounting just to make sure that hasn't happened. And I
Makes sense.
completely forgot. And it bit me in the ass. But
I
yeah,
thought
like,
it was pretty funny because I was setting up for it just in case, and of course it happened.
yeah. But going out of Wendy, I was 43 seconds behind my PB. So I would have been very happy with that. And then, like, one of my favorite levels in this run, Valley of Bowser 1, I died in multiple places that I've never died before.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting one. 3 different moles. And by the way, big GG's out to Icenine, who just finished up with a 41.26.
Nice. GG.
And in the spring in Morton, I don't really see that happen.
Oh yeah, I've seen a clip of that once before from, I think, this tourney. But that's all I've ever seen, and then that happened, and I was like, what? But yeah, for the most part, that was a fairly good run. I got the wall jump in FOI 3. Yeah, not too bad. Forest of Illusion 1 was a bit of an issue. Oh, and Vanilla Secret 2 I screwed up again. I did that wrong in my last race as well.
Oh, that's right. I did see you dancing around with that Yoshi Small and
yeah,
kind of losing them every now and then.
The thing is, until my race with Darts, I couldn't think of one time that I'd messed that level up before. I messed it up in that race, and then I messed it up in this race again.
You're just
whatever.
keeping it exciting for the people. This does, however, I believe, solidify your place in the final stage, though. So, congrats on that.
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you.
You'll be moving on with Dots from your group into the bracket stages.
Yeah, I was, without trying to sound cocky, my races so far have all gone the way I expected. Just looking at like the average times that runners put up, I was expecting to win my 2 races other than against Dots. So I'm happy that it turned out the way I expected.
In the Dots one, I mean, you could have won. He put down a 37.10, and you had a 39.23. But like you getting sub 37.10 is not unheard of. Obviously, like that's doable.
The
put down a 36 against Canalist.
Yeah, the race against Dots was unfortunate. I talked to him afterwards as well, and I said, like, there was 2 of our races, my race against Canalist and his race against Icenine. We're only 1 second apart, so if we'd have had those runs against each other, that would have been a brilliant race. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely would have. All right, well, GG's once again. I appreciate you coming out and doing this run, man.
Yeah, thanks.
You got anything else for us before we go ahead and take off to the next race?
Not really. Just good luck to TNT and whoever his opponent is in the next race. I can't remember.
Venom.
Yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a good one, too. So, that's going to do it for this race, and you guys make sure to stay tuned for that next race we were just talking about. Venom Play versus TNT. will be starting here in hopefully about 5 minutes, and we'll get that started shortly.
Yeah.
GG's once again to Xander and Icenine.
Yeah, thanks. I'll see you around.
Yep, and I will see y'all shortly. I might be commentating this next one too. It doesn't look like we have anyone, so I will see y'all shortly.